I'm very grateful and quite humbled to receive this award from Walsh University. While the award itself has intrinsic value, for me the greater significance is that it is being awarded by my alma mater. I know that you realize all those wonderful accomplishments just credited to me were not mine. They were the results of the hard work of teams of faculty, administrators, staffs, at times students, working together to get it done. They were the result of the leadership of the board of directors of Walsh University, many of whom are here this afternoon, people who take the direction that they give at the board level very seriously and work hard to make it happen. I just happen to be blessed to be a part of a team of talented people who are capable of tremendous and marvelous creations. The honor is doubly meaningful because I get to share it with my family. You've already heard from our First Lady, Terry. Also this afternoon are my 5 children, their 5 wonderful spouses, and lots of grandchildren and other friends scattered around. If you please stand and just be recognized. You have witnessed today 2 significant awards prior to my own. We recognize our founders, the Brothers of Christian Instruction, as they celebrate their 200th anniversary as a congregation. Interestingly, they get the Founders Award. Who would have ever thought that? Fathers Delaminette and Dehe are credited with starting something that today renders them honor. A few years ago, I was wandering through the hallway in Farrell Hall, which I do, of course, quite often, and I was standing before a photo of all the brothers who had ever served and worked at Walsh University. That was several years ago, and the total years at that time was more than 500 years of service to Walsh. We also just honored Terry Jusseaume, her dear mother Pearl, all 88.9 years of her, here to witness this. Oh, I thank you. I'm so glad you talked me into proposing to her. That was very nice. She did it very eloquently with cheeseburgers I couldn't resist. You heard her biography. She's worked in admissions, taught classes, helped develop networks of faith-based organizations, unbelievably dedicated to our faith and mission, in an unprecedented role of 18 years as First Lady. I mention both of these awards because they're central with what I share to you this afternoon. My life is meaningful because of the overlapping of 3 families that have provided the focus of my life. The first family, the one that Terry and I started over 44 years ago. The 2 of us became 7, then 12, and now 25 as we enjoy our children, their wonderful spouses, and our grandchildren. This is the family that gives life, energy, enthusiasm, joy, endless optimism to our lives. The second family, the Brothers of Christian Instruction. They were my teachers in junior high school and in high school, from the ages of 11 to 17. Then I came to Walsh, and 4 more years of brothers as teachers again. When I joined the congregation in 1964, I became part of their family for the next 9 years. We lived in community, we ate together, worked together, prayed together, and laughed together. To this day, I consider the brothers my second family and always feel welcome in their midst. All of you participating here this afternoon are an important part of my third family, Walsh University. some of the happiest years of my life. 4 as a student, 7 as dean of students, 10 as a board member, 18 as president, right here in the Walsh family. This is the environment where I learned, I grew, I developed, I shared, I found lifelong friends, and I forged a lifetime relationship with Terry that led to the creation of that first family of which I spoke. I would suggest, graduates, you who are in the midst of creating your own stories and your own families, that I offer you the promise, if you are and always are part of the Walsh family, it is available to you. Value it, frequent it, support it, rely on it. It is an important part of your history and your future, as well as your own personal legacy. But beyond that, graduates, you graduate today knowing, I hope, that your learning is just beginning. You have really spent 4 years learning how to learn, a skill that will serve you well. Many of you are going to leave today in pursuit of a career in a job that will be integral to your lives. Many of you will end up in jobs and careers that do not yet even exist. You'll be fine. The faculty has done a good job of preparing you for the inevitable challenges. Is there a simple formula for success as you move on? I can't tell you that because you have to define what is going to be success for you. What I would suggest is that when you do define your own goals, they include family. And as I described my life to you, yours as well will include family of origin, created family, work family, community family. Don't worry, they all fit together on that unique wheel of life of which you are the hub. I believe that over all the years of my working life, I have attended nearly 80 graduations. My own, my family's, those of my students and friends. I guess by some measure, that makes me a graduation junkie. What it really means is that I got invited or had to be at many graduations. Think about that. 80 graduation speakers I've listened to, striving to share that magic formula, the magic words, the magic advice, or the magic thought that would propel the graduates to a life of success, happiness, and purpose. I must report that I have heard great speeches, and I have heard honest declarations and suggestions about what that magic formula really was. And make no mistake about it, those orations in the aggregate were brilliant discourses on the meaning of life and the formula for a lifetime of accomplishment and meaning. I even must confess that in 1998, I was that commencement speaker at the Walsh graduation. My best attempt at that time was to share the life of my grandmother, who, despite bearing 17 children, surviving tragic incidents, living on the edge constantly because of the vagaries of an alcoholic husband, was at 97 years old, still smiling, still anticipating tomorrow, and still grateful for the many joys that had filled her life. I've heard ambassadors, politicians, church leaders, musicians, corporate gurus, saintly servants of many professions, and learned scholars who spoke enthusiastically to graduating students. And so I would like to share a compilation of those 80 speeches with you. Alas, my memory fails. You don't need to applaud that. This past Thursday night, I spoke to an enthusiastic crowd of nearly 100 seniors and as many faculty, staff, and board members. Lots of stories got told. Some probably that would have been better not told. It was called The Last Lecture, and it kind of forced me to reach deep to offer the thoughts that might help some. A few snippets from that. Nourish and develop the relationships that you have and will form as you journey through the families you have and will live through. Your life is stimulated, enlightened, emboldened, meaningful, and yeah, sometimes miserable by the unique assortments of folks who chronicle your life. But these will be the photos marking your life when it comes to a close. Spend little time bemoaning the past. You can reminisce if you choose, hold fond memories perhaps, and maybe still harbor unfortunate and most hurtful episodes that simply will not fade away. So be it. Move on. Move forward. Bring the great memories. Seek out new people, new opportunities, new goals and dreams, and know that even as you approach these, there will be created both exciting times, Charles Dickens called them the best of times, and difficult times. He called those the worst of times. That, my fellow graduates, is life. Finally, always a great word to hear from a speaker, one more thought. God loves you. Whatever the details might be of your own personal faith journey, of the religious beliefs you espouse, of the significance or not of God in your life, the phrase remains. Compelling, unending, and always there. God loves you. That's humbling. It's exciting. It's consoling. It's enlivening. For some of us, God is a distant, irrelevant thought. For others of us, it's a simplistic, irrelevant, and sometimes obtrusive creep into our lives. For still others, it's our only hope and recourse. Please revisit your own personal faith journey. Make room for that God who loves you without condition. It may be your only recourse at times, and your hope and inspiration at others. My fellow graduates, every generation has predicted for 2,000 years that the next generation would destroy civilization as we know it. None ever has. Leave this graduation today filled with good memories, filled with hope, filled with a desire to do good, and filled with a sense of undying love that your families and your God add daily to your lives. We love you. We congratulate you. We honor you. We hope in you. The Walsh motto says it so well. God grants the increase. It is for you to plant the seeds of greatness. Farewell.